the idea of booby trapping yourself for success can take like really small pieces, or it could take something larger. But like, if you ever find, for example, that you're forgetful and like you might go to a game and leave your coat, or you might go to your office and leave something there that you don't want to leave there, right? Um, One of the best hacks to booby trap yourself for success so that you don't forget it is to put your car keys on it. So then, like, if you walk out of your office and you get to your car and you don't have your car keys, then you can't go anywhere. So I end up throwing my car keys around a bunch on whatever I want to make sure that I remember and want to make sure that I don't forget.
Give me a grander example for that. Like, all right,
Yeah.
I want to booby trap myself for not having frivolous spending, and I want to put a higher percentage of my paycheck towards various investments. What's a good way to like booby trap myself into financial success?
Well, I mean, you know the answer. What's an answer?
An answer is to pay yourself first, make the money disappear before it hits your account.
Great. What's another answer?
Another answer is from one of my guilty pleasure musicians, Sheryl Crow. She's got a great line in one of her worst songs that it's not about having what you want, it's about wanting what you have. And I try to keep that at the front of my mind because I'm like, do I really just want to have 10 more pairs of shoes? Or can I just really enjoy what I already have and want the things that I already have? So I'm trying to curb my frivolous spending by constantly thinking of Sheryl Crow's throwaway line from one of her worst songs.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different ones, right? Like there's tear up your credit cards, there's only spend cash, there's envelope system. There's a lot of different ways. But I would also say, and I don't think that this relates to you, but it relates to an interestingly largish number of younger people, is that they have a negative, and I had this as well. They have a negative um, association with wealth, and particularly around the word rich. So, like, when I start working with somebody, I'll ask them a series of questions, and one of them is, their sentence completions. So one of them is, um, "This is how I feel about rich people, and this is how I feel," right? And what's interesting is, on occasion, I get like, rich people are, greedy, are ruining our country, are blah 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 blah, right?
Yeah.
And it's really like crystal clear to me that if this is somebody who's an entrepreneur, that they're never gonna become wealthy, because the identity that they have of who they're on a trajectory to become is that person that they despise. So I was very fortunate that, like, right when I was on a collision course to self-sabotage, I read this book called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker. And I remember this very, very vividly. It was like this I think it was page 82 of this book, and it said that you can be kind, generous, loving, and really freaking rich. And when I read that, I was like cognitive dissonance, cannot compute, right? And then in that moment, I just realized, like, well, I can define whatever I want it to mean to be rich. Like, by all statistics, right? I don't have Hampton, you know, houses in the Hamptons, and but like, by all normal definitions, I'm rich. You're rich. Like 1% of income earners, wealth holders, what have you. Um, and so, like, some people get really hung up on that, and then they self-sabotage around their wealth building. And so you find that people buy stuff and buy stuff and buy stuff, and even the more money they make, they just have lifestyle creep, because they have negative feelings around what it means to grow wealth and to be rich. And you can't, if you don't have any money invested in the stock market and you don't have any money invested in real estate, then you can't lose any money. And so, one of the ways to make sure that you don't experience the pain of loss is to not have it. So, I mean, it sounds a little perverse, right? But
Right.
but literally, when I talk through these conversations with people, these are the things that I find, that they had very bad stories around money when they were younger, that maybe they saw money abused, maybe they have certain beliefs and values around Wall Street, or I mean, even if in our society today, there's a lot of negative press around, tax the rich, X the rich, fuck the rich, whatever that is. And you know, I I I take exception with that, because the same people that are saying these things are the people who went to Carnegie Mellon University and Vanderbilt University and fill in the blank rich philanthropists who built the libraries and built the universities and donates the millions and millions of dollars,
Right.
right? Not the people on welfare that are creating these extraordinary systems or eradicating polio. And I mean, it is seriously wealthy people who are making massive contribution to society. And I just think somehow that gets lost in the media because it's an easy target.
Yeah. It has become a very easy target to vilify groups these days. The rich, the this, the that. And I saw a meme the other day. I get some of my best stuff from memes, and it was like, hey man, whatever problems you have, it's highly unlikely it's because somebody else is a millionaire or a billionaire. And I was like, ooh, that really nails it. Like whatever personal problems I'm dealing with, it's highly unlikely, improbable, and probably impossible that it's because my neighbor is a millionaire. So anyway, give us your last two and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah. So just finishing up with the booby trapping yourself for success. So I booby trap myself for success by imagining that I don't have any short term memory. So when my mind, when somebody says to me, "Hey, can you remember to do this?" or when I say, "Hey, I'll remember to do that," then I catch myself and I'm like, I'm not going to remember that. And so I have post-it notes next to my bed. I have post-it notes next to my sink. Sometimes I'll stop in that moment. I'll text myself the reminder, right? Or I'll email myself the reminder. Or if I'm on the phone with somebody, I'll say, "Hey, by the way, like, can you just send me a reminder?" And that's a way that I just don't rely on my memory, and I can think about other things and not try to have to keep those things in the forefront or the back of my mind. Um, Several years ago, I knew that exercising was really important for me, and I knew that reading books was really important for me, but I was pretty certain that if I left to my own devices, I wasn't going to do those things. And so we built a system at work where all of us each quarter read the same book, a business book, generally speaking, and we discuss it. And that's one of the ways that Booby traps myself to make sure that I read at least 4 books a year.
Love it.
And it's 3.5 more than most people read in a year. So,
It's
um,
right.
you know, so I wish that I was a voracious reader. Um, and I listen to podcasts and I do read. Um, but that's one of the things that's booby trap myself for success. And then we also have a wellness program at work where every Monday on a Google spreadsheet, everybody on our team records the number of workouts that they did the week before. And if they work out 4 times in a week, they get a bonus point. And if they average 4 points over the course of a quarter, then they get wellness reward. So it's money that they can use you know, for weights, for personal training, for a Vitamix blender, for something that's health oriented. And so, like, while a lot of our team really loves that, and while it expresses our value that we value health and wellness, it also holds me accountable because I need to put my number up on that spreadsheet every week. And as one of the leaders of the company, the hell if I'm going to have a 0 or a 1 or a 2,
Right,
right? Like
right.
I've got a lead, so that's a way that's up front and very open and visible for everyone to see, and it helps me stay on course.